Hey YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back. Today we're going to do a Springans deck profile for the September 2021 format. I know a ban list is right around the corner, but I wanted to do another deck profile, and I know they're not going to get hit on the ban list. Fortunately, well actually it's kind of unfortunate. I mean, I wish they had some really good cards. I like this deck. But just want to show what my Springans deck is. I like how it is. There's a couple cards that if I had them, I'd change. I'll let you know that when I get to them. But anyways, let's get straight on into this. So move the extra deck aside. So to start off, I run 3 Springans brothers, actually. It's actually the only one in the deck that I run at 3 of. The rest of them are 2 except 1. So we got 2 Rocky, 2 Bronga, 2 Sargus, and the lonely 1 Pador. Now, Pador is good, don't get me wrong. There are just better options with, especially the brothers and the Rocky. Bronga is really good with the searching, which is fantastic. And then I just really like the boost that Sargus can give. Besides the Springans lineup, we do run 1 of the Serpent. And for a little spicy package that I run, I actually run a scrap engine in here. So I run 3 Raptor, 2 Recycler, and a Golem. Now, this is one of the things, like I said at the beginning, that I would change if I had the cards. So these Recyclers, if I had them, one would be Chimera, obviously. I don't have that card. I really hope it gets a reprint soon because it really needs it. I was hoping for the last OTS pack, but, Konami failed us like normal. And then the other Recycler, if you didn't want to keep it, you could drop it for another one of the traps that I'll mention later, or you could toss in another hand trap. That always works too. But to round off the monsters, we're just looking at 3 normal effect Veilers. Unfortunately, I don't own Ash Blossoms, or I would probably put Ash in here. If you do, by all means, just chuck it in. I mean, it'll make the deck better, especially if you want to put in a Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf in the extra deck, which is an option. It is an option. Well, I will tell you that. Anyways, that's it for the monsters. Let's go ahead and get moving on to the spells. Now, the spells is a pretty simple lineup as well. We're looking at triple Sansy. That's where the Springans are from, so it's their home, really. We got triple Watch. It'll add the Sansy. If not, if you already have Sansy, it'll add one from deck to hand and then send one. Does it add one? Yeah, add one first and then send one. And another way to get your field spell is with Booty. Now, Booty, most of the time I don't like to send it for the field spell if I don't have to. I'll normally use Watch, and the reason why is because I just like the interruption that Booty can give. Now, it's a pretty good card, don't get me wrong. I'm really glad that we got it in Lightning Overdrive, same with Brothers. But, I just wish the deck could still get some more support. Whenever a Ixie monster you control leaves the field, by card effect, yeah. Target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects for the rest of the turn. That's amazing. I mean, for a deck that just keeps bouncing their Ixies on the field and off the field and on the field and off the field, perfect. You couldn't ask for a better thing. And to see the scrap engine, I'm running triple Fossil Dig. And the last 2 spells in the deck is going to be a Called by the Grave, because you really want your plays to go off. You don't want to get stopped, really. And a single Terraforming. So basically running 10 field spells here. The 3 Sansy, 3 Watch, 3 Booty, and the Terraforming. Like I said, the deck is focused around its field spell. You need to have it on board to really get your plays going. The Fossil Dig's just here. If you don't want to run Fossil Dig, but you still want to run the scrap engine, you could take these out for more hand traps. It's always an option. Never really have to worry about that. Now, the thing with the Sansy is you just discard a Spriggan's card and special summon a Spriggan's Ixie from the extra deck. And when we get to the extra deck later, you'll see that there's a really good option for your first time doing it, and then there's a better option for the second time. If you're familiar with this deck at all, you'll absolutely know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that wraps up the spells. Let's go ahead and get into just the handful of traps I run. So, just because they float so much, well, not so much float, they kind of swim in sand, I run triple Torrential Tribute. It's a really good card for this deck. You know, you're tagging out your Ixies all the time, so they're not really on the field to die to it. And if you activate Torrential, you can always just chain, like, your Merrymaker or your X-Blower effect to get them off the field. They don't have to stay there. Or if you have, you know, the new trap card Interluder up, you can use it to bounce it back, but I don't know why you would do that. You'd want it at the end phase at that point. Right now, I'm running 2 Blast and 1 Interluder, like I've mentioned earlier. If you didn't want to put in another hand trap for taking out a Recycler, if you didn't want to run it, I would suggest bumping Interluder up to 2, or, you know, possibly even Blast up to 3. You know, that's arguable. There's pros and cons to it. The cons, it's a trap. The pros, it's a pretty good trap. Anywho, you know, Blast just chooses a monster card, main monster zone, and then it negates the monster effect of a monster inside of it, but if it doesn't have a monster, they can't use it. So it's really good to use in circumstances where your opponent summons a Link monster and it needs to summon to a zone it points to. You can just target its only zone that points to the main monster zone, and then what are they going to do? Torrential Tribute, like I said, just blow stuff up. An Interluder, you bring stuff back, negate an effect, or special summon a level 8 monster from the grave. You don't really do that one. It's mainly just the negate the effect, and then you get the attack loss. Your opponent's monsters get weaker, which is always great. Now, that was it for the main deck. All the cards is a 40-card main. Now, for the extra deck, I do run a little bit weird of cards, but I will explain them. So, because we have to, we gotta run 1 Sprine. Merrymaker needs to send it, just so you can get your ad off. And because of my scrap combo with not having, what's that card? Chimera, I actually run a scrap Twin Dragon. It's pretty good, honestly. I don't mind it whatsoever. It's a really nice card. For a rank 8 beater, when you get your Bronga and Sargus on board, or your Snake, running the number 62 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. This deck is very Ixie focused, so this guy can get pretty massive. I've gotten games where he's been at like 72. It's pretty ridiculous. For your archetype stuff, you got 2 X-Blower, 2 Merrymaker. Now, the key cards in the deck, the X-Blower is going to be your spot removal and whatnot. It's going to get you your plays going. Well, not your plays going. It's going to stop your opponent's plays from going. And then Merrymaker is just the one that you normally want to start with. You want to, like, summon it out. I normally bring it in defense position because I try to go first with the deck. You bring it out in defense. You send whatever card you need in the grave. You try to attach 2, so that way, during your opponent's turn, if you have Booty or Interluder, you can, when you banish the card, you get those 2 materials sent, and you get to send Sprine to add a follow-up for next turn. It's not the most consistent thing, and you could argue just dropping this Scrap Twin Dragon for a second Sprine if you'd want. Personally, I just like the way that it is now. And for the last 2 Ixies in the deck, I'll just put them up here on the top. It is a Jewel Driver Vespanado. This lets you overlay onto your Merrymaker to get the Springans Ixie off the field. That way you can discard another Springans card just to bring out X-Blower with the field spell. And a King of the Feral Imps. This, if you can go into it, just helps you search out Snick. It's really good. I enjoy it. He's 2,300, so he's pretty beefy. You know, of course, not the beefiest thing in the world. And for links, I'm running an Appaloosa, just for negates and for the scrap combo. A Unicorn to spin stuff. Phoenix to pop spells and traps, you know, pretty standard. A Hita. An Alsa, and then, of course, the aforementioned Scrap Wyvern. If you wanted to change anything in this extra deck, if you wanted to put that Sunlight Wolf in that I mentioned earlier, you could take out the Twin, or you could take out one of the Charmers. I like them just because it helps get stuff off board that I might not want on the board. That way, you know, I can get my Springans engrave, or get my Scraps engrave for Scrap combo, or for Golem follow-up if for some reason I didn't lose my Golem. Yeah, they're just really good. They can help rip stuff out of your opponent's grave. The Fire one, I will say, helps you link climb if you're versing decks that have Ash Blossom, just because you can steal it, and then you can go into your Unicorn, and then chuck discard something, and then get a nice spin back. And then the Ursa are pretty common. I don't think they're so common in the current format, unfortunately, but they are still common. I like to run it in here just for that safety precaution. But anyways, that wraps up the deck today, guys. If you enjoyed the deck profile, please leave a like. It'll let me know that you enjoyed the video. And if you wouldn't mind, consider subscribing. There's more future content coming in the future for deck profiles and more pack openings. Really hope you guys are enjoying the content. I'm having a blast making it for you. If you have any suggestions for deck profiles in the future, please let me know down below in the comment section. I almost said description, but the comment section. And let me know how you change the deck. If you would, you know, change the Springans monsters entirely, take out the Scrap Engine, put something different in. I'd really like to know. If you have any feedback, I would really would like to hear it. I like to, you know, try to make my decks as good as possible and try to be the best duelist I can. But anyways, until next one, guys. See you later. Peace.